Greetings. My name is Kimberly McCants. I am director and producer of an upcoming documentary called Protect the King. If I can, for a moment, address my men, I'll just take a few minutes of your time. But there are a few things that have been really touching my heart, breaking it for the most part, but that I've noticed about you. Several things. One being that most of you are broken. Most of you are broken and damaged, which is not very uncommon, but what is detrimental to it is that you don't realize that you are broken and damaged. Most of you are very defensive when the thought of being broken and damaged is even mentioned to you, but the fact remains that you are broken and damaged from many aspects. One of those aspects is in regards to your position as a man and your understanding of what a man is, your understanding of the divinity in your position as a man, and particularly when you are not in a societal position to uphold that position. I'm trying to make things as easy as possible. It is not really one of those simple subjects to get into. I say it really hurts my heart to see my man in such a state of turmoil. A lot of it starts when you are children, because you are conditioned to accept certain ideals in regards to your manhood, such as little boys. As a young boy, you're not supposed to cry. You're not supposed to show any emotion. Those things are taught to you as children, but they leak over into your manhood or your man age, adult ages, say it that way, because you're also then taught men don't cry. So if you're holding on to that belief and you feel a need to cry or to show an emotion, you won't do it because you have been programmed to believe that that's going to make you less of a man. I guarantee you it doesn't make you less of a man. The problem with the things that you have been told that you shouldn't do actually go against your natural self. Anytime you go against nature, you lose. You are a man, regardless to what your circumstances are. Regardless to how you feel, you are still a man. Regardless to the situations that you have been through, the experiences that you have had, you are still a man. Those things that have been given to you to define you as a man have been given to you by a being that no man, human, can take away from you. They've been given to you by a divine being. So no matter what society says, you'll still be what the Father says you are. And it's important that you remember who you are, that you remember whose you are, that you get an understanding of what your spiritual purpose is, and that you do stay in your position. So I talked to a lot of men for the sake of the interview for this documentary, and a lot of them share the same idea that they're not broken, they're not damaged in any way. And one thing that really kind of caught me was in speaking with a gentleman that had recently gotten out of prison. after doing 12 years. We didn't go into any detail about that. But he tells me that he's okay because he just puts himself into his work. He just goes to work. He doesn't do anything else. But he's okay. That's a sure sign that you're broken and damaged. Anytime your freedoms have been taken away, anytime you have been locked down physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially, physiologically, any kind of way, you've been broken, you've been damaged. And how you manage it, how you deal with it, doesn't make that fact go away. It's a cover-up. I used an analogy yesterday when speaking with somebody about dealing with problems, and they kind of answered the same way. They just, find something else to do to bury themselves in. Well, the analogy that I use, and having actually dealt with somebody who did this, was dealing with dirty laundry. I knew somebody that kept the dirty laundry in a basket under the sink in their apartment. That was so they knew that those clothes were dirty. They needed to go to the laundromat. They needed to be taken care of. After maybe a week or so, or maybe a little longer, they continued to sit there. They didn't make it to the laundromat, but knowing that they were sitting there, it started to get on his nerves. So instead of taking the laundry to the laundromat, he put a covering on top of it. He put a towel on top of the basket of dirty clothes and left it there. My thought was it would be simpler and make more sense to just go wash the clothes. Because the fact of the matter is, even though you have put a towel on top of it, it's still there. And now you've added to the dirty laundry because you've put something else on top of the dirty laundry. It's still there. In order for those clothes to get clean, you have to take them out of hiding and take them into washing. Get rid of them. You have to deal with the situation. You have to deal with what's there in order for it to go away. But a lot of times in regular situations, that is what men do, men and women, but we're just dealing with you right now. That's what you all do. Instead of dealing with the situation up front, really handling it in truth and honesty and humility, you find a way to cover it so that you don't have to deal with it, but it doesn't make it go away. Putting a mask on it doesn't hide who you are. It doesn't hide the fact that you still are who you were created as. You're still that. So you have to find a way to deal with the problem for what it is. And most of the time in dealing with the problem, you have to do some self-analysis. You have to go back into some childhood memories. You have to go back into some things that people have said or done to you that caused you to feel a certain way, but you never actually dealt with your feelings. You never dealt with the person that said those things to you that made you feel a certain way. You just kind of accepted it, went on about your business because you were told, again, and programmed not to have these feelings, not to show these feelings. But you're fighting against your own self because it's natural for you to have those feelings, which is why you have them. Also in conversation yesterday, a gentleman told me that men and women are different in their feelings. And while I understand men and women deal with feelings differently, we have the same feelings. It may not be at the same time and it may not be about the same thing, but as a woman, I feel pain, I feel hurt, I feel disappointment, I feel anger, I feel sadness, I feel joy, pride, in a good way, sometimes in a negative way also. But so do you. You feel those same things. You feel joy, you feel pride, you feel anger and sadness and disappointment and hurt. You feel those same things. You just don't verbally speak on them because you have been, again, programmed to believe that if you do, it makes you less of a man. The fact of the matter is, allowing yourself to accept those things and deal with those things will allow you to be the 100% natural man that you were created to be, because then you have nothing that's hindering you from being free. Right now, you are what you consider protecting yourself from yourself. You're protecting yourself or defending yourself from your natural self, which means you'll never be who you were created to be in the fullness. And until you are until you realize who you are created to be in its fullness and become that, not only do you hurt and continue to hurt yourselves, you also hurt us as women. You hurt us as a unit, because we both have responsibilities. We both have positions that we play. And if one is out of their position, so is the other. As a man, you were created as the head. As a woman, we were created as your helpmeet, not a tail, but as a helpmeet. One thing, if you're not doing anything, we can't help you. We can't help you do nothing. Another thing, if you are out of your position, that means I too am out of my position, because the position has to be filled. So either one of three things are going to happen. Either your position is going to be filled by someone else because it needs to be filled, or it's not going to be filled at all, which just leaves the woman completely independent of you, which is also unnatural. Or the woman is going to be forced into another unnatural position, which is the head, which is where you are supposed to be. None of these things work. They're all unnatural. They have taken us completely out of our natural state. This is not where we're supposed to be. We need you to be where you were designed and created to be, and that is the head. That is the head at all times, regardless to what your circumstances are. Those circumstances do not last, and they do not make you. They do not make you. They are part of your experience, but they don't make you who you are. But it's important that you stay in your position at all times, no matter what, because women also have a position. We have a role to play. We have a job to do, but we can't do it if you're not doing yours. And a lot of times, men get a misunderstanding with women who understand. I'm going to have to clarify some things, because there are some women that ain't acting right. Y'all are really out of line, be it by choice or, ignorance, whatever the case may be. But there are some women who do understand their role. They do understand their position, and they do respect it. They also respect your role and honor that role. And we really need you to be in that role, because, again, if you are not doing what you are supposed to do in the role of divine man, as a divine woman, I can't do mine. I want to do what I was created to do in every aspect. If I'm created to be your helpmeet, that means you have to be in position to allow me to help you. You have to be doing something for me to help you. Again, I can't help you do nothing. I'm definitely not going to help you fail. I'm not going to help you fall. Not going to do that. You do have some women, like I said, that get into these head positions. In my head, I'm talking about taking over households, being the boss in the household, and they're doing it out of malice, or they do it to prove a point, They do it out of disrespect. And those are the ones that need to be educated on the true meaning of their position, the true meaning of the position of the man, and divine order of things. So those are not the ones that I'm talking about. Like I said, the ones that I am referring to are the ones that know what it is. We are here for you. I mean, there may be far and few, and I hear that all the time. I ain't no women like that. Ain't nobody out here like that they don't know, and then this is that and the other. They just want to be men, and all kinds of stuff like that. And the fact of the matter is, we don't want to be men. We want to be with men. That's the fact of the matter. 99% of the women want to be with a man. They want to be with their king. But if the king doesn't know he's a king, the queen can't be a queen, and there can be no kingdom with the two of them. Brothers, we need you. We need you. And every time I start talking about this, it brings tears to my eyes, because you all just really don't understand the severity of what's happening. You don't understand the depth you don't understand. I'll just put it that way. You just don't understand. And because you don't understand, we are constantly being destroyed. We're constantly being destroyed. We're being used against each other as pawns. There's a system that was designed for this very purpose. For everything that's going on right now, there was a system designed for your demise. It's been going on for years, hundreds of years, even longer than that. One, what I'm talking about in particular, deals with Willie Lynch. This is the book, Willie Lynch Letters, The Making of a Slave. That book describes in so much graphic detail how to destroy a black man, how to destroy a black woman, how even to convince or trick, I won't say convince, but to trick a black woman into helping in the demise of the black man. It is a woman's natural instinct to nurture, to protect a man, or just to protect, period. It's her natural instinct to nurture. In this system, Willie Lynch describes how to use that against the man, against her king, in order to get him to be a slave to the master. This is, and please don't get me wrong, this is not about white men over black men. This is not about that. It's just the position of slave and man. How things work, why we are where we are right now, why we are looked upon the way we're looked upon right now. But in this system, what was done was our natural instinct to nurture was used against us, because the master understood. He studied us. He studied everything about us. He knows exactly what makes us tick, how we think, what will make us move. So with us being natural nurturers, he used that against you. So he would put us in a position where we had to make a decision to basically come from behind and step forward in order to protect you. So what he did was he would take the husband and the child, which was usually a male child, from the home, but in front of the wife. He would take the man and brutally beat him almost to a point of death. Sometimes he would just go ahead and kill him. He would tie him to two animals and whip him and send him in two different directions and literally tear up that man in pieces in front of the wife and child. But for the ones that he did not kill, he made them want to die. He beat them to a point where the woman could no longer stand to see her husband being beaten to a pulp. So her natural instinct was to step up, to step in between the master and her husband. She became the mediator between the master and her husband. He knew that was going to happen. That's what he wanted. So what we did was come to an agreement with the master. Said, look, I don't want you beating my man anymore. I don't want you to kill him. Don't kill him. Don't hurt him any longer. Whatever you want me to do to stop you from hurting this man, I will do. Whatever you want me to do, I will do for the sake of the life of my man. That was the design. So because that was done, the natural position of the man was reversed. The woman then became the head by default because she was trying to protect her man. She was trying to protect her king. So she gave herself over. She sacrificed herself over so that the king could survive. I said that has put us in an unnatural state because that's continued. Like I said, we're going to look out for you. We're going to look out for you. No matter what goes down, no matter how wrong you are, no matter how bad you are, no matter what you've done to us as a whole and generally speaking, the black woman always got your back. We always got you. We will always do what's necessary to defend you. But not knowing that in doing whatever we would or could do to defend you was also breaking you as a man. We were helping your breaking. So we were used as a pawn to break you. Because then as the child grew older, as the man-child grew older, we began to teach him to be physically strong, but mentally weak. If you're mentally weak, then you're not a threat to master. You don't become a threat to the system because you have no mental fight. You have no mental tenacity. Mentally, you have been broken from your natural state of manhood. Mentally, you have been broken from your position as king. So you're not a threat. Now, if you pay attention to what I just said about being a threat, you'll understand why you are also a target constantly is because you are a natural threat. When people know who you are, they know your ability, they know your position, and there's nothing they can do about it. You are a threat. You are a point of contention. You are something that has to be rid of. If we go back, go biblically just for a little bit. Pharaoh dealing with the children of Israel. He had a problem with the children of Israel because they were growing in number. They were strong. Everything about them was strong. They were an independent people. They were a spiritually guided people. They were a special chosen people. And there was nothing that they were unable to do. They could conquer anything and anybody. And knowing that, they were a threat to Pharaoh, to his system, which is why when he noticed the increase in numbers, how much Israel was growing in numbers, his plan was, we got to cut this out. We got to stop this. They're going to become too many in number, and then they're going to turn against us. You're damn right. You're right. Once there is an awakening of who you are, an understanding of the strength that you really have, the understanding of the knowledge that is already in you, is already in you. When you realize these things, that is when you become a threat. Because now you know how to regain your position. You know how to change the game. This is why you are a target. It's a lot happening. A lot of things are happening to black men. A lot of things are happening to black people. And you should really ask yourselves the question, why are they happening? Who's really doing it? What is the purpose? What is the agenda? Where did it come from? This is nothing new, and it's not so much just about, a black and white racial issue. It's way deeper than that. It's way deeper than that. It's about understanding who you are. Who you are and what your purpose is, what your function is, what your destiny is, what your prophecy is. We need you, men. We need you. We need you to get it together. We need you to be okay with who you are. We need you to get an understanding of who you are. We need you to be okay with the feelings that you have, because those feelings are natural. Once you have dealt with those natural feelings and accepted them, you begin to change. You become stronger in who you are. It's not a weakness to cry. It's not a weakness to feel hurt. It's not a weakness to feel shame or pain. It's not a weakness. You're told that it's a weakness because if you don't release those things, it causes a physical, even a physiological halter in you. What I'm saying is, releasing emotions. In releasing emotions, there are certain changes, chemical changes that occur in the human body. It's a release of toxin. It's a change in chemical balances. There's a spiritual connection with the release of those things. And it's designed that way. It's intended. It's intended. So you're supposed to. Right now, the things that you all are holding on to are really preventing you from being that true man that you were created to be. As I stated earlier, they're preventing you from being who you say you are. They're preventing you from being who you're defending yourself as, and that's a man. Let those things go. There's no shame in them. But that's where your strength lies. It lies behind those things that you are protecting yourself from. You have to release them. If you ever pay attention to when a woman expresses herself from pain, when she cries, after she cries, she's different. Everything about her is different at that moment. There is a sense of relief and release. There is a strength regained in her. It's the same with a man if you would allow yourself to do it. There is no shame. Allow yourself to naturally be yourself. I don't know how much more I can reiterate the importance of you understanding who you are. Understanding who you are leads to change. And change is what they don't want. But change is what we need. Is getting to a point where there are more people, more of us, that are looking for answers, biblically, spiritually. We're looking for answers. And there are more people that are coming into the truth. Behind those answers, those questions are coming into the truth. And once you have knowledge of the truth, you are responsible for the truth. The truth will convict you into change. And then you are also held accountable for that change. And some people just don't want it. They want to continue living in ignorant bliss, not knowing, so that they're not held responsible for what they do, which they still will be. But they can't be knowledgeable of their consequence. But you have to know. You have to know. As a woman, I need you to know. Everything that has ever impacted your life negatively, as a woman, I need you to heal. If you've ever been told that you're less of a man, or you ain't shit, or you ain't gonna be about nothing, you never gonna have anything, man up, if you don't have certain material items, that you're not a man, if you don't do certain things, certain activities, be it sports, or if you don't fight, or, whatever the case may be, if you don't do those things, that you're not a man. If you don't have 100 women by your side, you're not a man. If you don't have, a certain amount of money in your pocket on a daily, you're not a man. If you've ever been physically abused, and you men do not talk about this, if you have ever been physically abused, you're told that your manhood was taken. That's something that you all don't discuss. Like, Like it doesn't happen to men being molested or being raped, being beaten, abused in any kind of way, being neglected. These things happen to you. I know they happen to you. I know someone that's happened to. But it doesn't make you less of a man. But you have to deal with it. And by deal with it, I mean confronting it, getting help for it, acknowledging it, going through the necessary steps to heal from it. Not just masking it, not throwing a towel over it, not sweeping it under the rug, not putting it in a different room and closing the door. That's not dealing with it. Really acknowledging it. Get on your hands and knees and cry about that thing. Cry out about it. Let the Father help you. Let Him show you, let Him guide you. Get professional help. If you have a significant other, open up to her. Allow her to know. Don't be afraid of being judged for. Don't be afraid of being looked at in any kind of negative manner. It's about you. You don't understand. You don't understand the importance of your role, the importance of your position, why we need you. I need you. I need you. I need you to heal. I need you to be okay with telling me what it is you need, what it is you want, what has hurt you, who has hurt you. I need you to be okay with that. Be okay with communicating with me and not having a feeling that I'm going to throw it back in your face, or that I'm going to use it against you, or that I'm going to look at you in any other way other than what I know you were designed to be, and that's a man. You are a king. And because it is my natural instinct to nurture and protect, I am here to protect the king. I didn't want to take up a lot of your time, but I need it this time. I need you to understand you. I need you to understand me. I need us to understand each other. I need you to rise up. I got you. I got you. You are still a king. No matter what, you are still a king. Don't leave your position. Don't surrender your throne. Keep your head up. Keep your crown on. Give us a chance. From the bottom of my heart, if I have done anything to hurt you, be it deliberate or not, I guarantee you it was not deliberate. But if I have done anything to hurt you or make you feel any way less than who you are, if I have misunderstood you, if I have misread you, if I have misplaced you, if I have caused you to shut down, if I have caused you to walk away, if I have caused you to doubt, I apologize. I ask you for forgiveness. I promise to do what I'm supposed to do, which is the purpose behind this documentary. My job for you as a queen is to protect the king. Let me do my job. Help me or allow me to do my job. Allow me to stay in my position as your queen to do my job, and that is to protect the king. Peace.